Yesterday, OpenAI released its new native GPT-4 image generation. In less than a day, Twitter has blown up from the reactions. In this video, I'm going to showcase some demos, explain why this matters, and in the end, I'm going to show you how you can create your own ad creatives for your own business for free. Let's dive in. So let's briefly explain this new model and how it changes image generation and editing forever. Up to this point, image models were separate from LLMs. Models like Midjourney, DALL-E, Imagen from Google, and Flux, and every other image generator model had a text plus image input and an image output. It could create an image from text or edit an image based on a text instruction. This model takes this a whole step further. The native in the title native generation is because it uses the base GPT-4o model for the understanding of our instructions. And this can take as input text, image, text and image, multiple images together, and all of this combined. So you can input several images and a text instruction on how to create an output. Let's see some of the examples they have on the page here. The first one that we see, the first major leap is the text inside the images, and we see it can handle way more text than any previous model. And this is a whiteboard text styling. This example has only text as input. It starts with a pretty long detail. And this is another thing that this model can do. One of the benefits having the base GPT-4o model is that it can actually read very long prompts. Up to this point, Flux was a model that was able to follow long prompts, but still it was very limited. And we see they have this prompt here, which describes detailed what the text reads and where it's placed, as long as the girl in the middle with a t-shirt with the OpenAI logo. And we see that it has perfectly placed the text on the board and the OpenAI logo as well. And afterwards, they continue to edit the image, and we see that, and in this prompt, it adds a new person while keeping the background board the same. And we see that it does an almost perfect work. And we see that it does an almost perfect job on this one. Some other examples, I'm going to quickly read through them. We see different text placement with stickers on a wall. And another example here shows a comic book. And we see again that it has perfect text placement, and it also has character consistency between parts of the image. And another example that they have here is this science experiment infographic, which is very accurate. And we had an image of something very close to this in our physics books in university. And this was a generation. And for the editing part, what they do is they say place the infographic on a piece of paper and add the background in the Washington Square Park, and which it does a perfect job of understanding and keeping the consistency of the previous image. And we see another one here. This is more creative one. And we see that this model is best character consistency and understanding the prompt instruction while keeping parts of the original images intact as it's needed. In this blog post, they have many more examples that you can browse through and kind of get a feeling of what the model can and can't do. And we can see this example with the street signs here. And again, all of the text and characters described with details on the prompt as well as the background. And we see that it has very good prompt composition. And let's see a menu here, which seems to be very good output. And we have an invitation, which again, this one showcases the text capabilities of the model. One thing to note is currently the model is only available in ChatGPT in all tiers, Pro, Plus, and Free. And in the coming weeks, it will be available in the API as well. But we expect it to be way more expensive than the current models because it takes way longer to generate the image. Here they showcase the image editing capabilities. So we have an input cut, and we give it a prompt of a detective hat and a monocle, and we see it very good cut consistency and with the added inputs as well. And yeah, this is a more creative one, which again seems to be very good. And this one seems to be generating entire game assets as well. So this example showcases a prompt and changing the backgrounds. And they have a sticker one as well, which is a very interesting. These are SVG style images, and they can edit them very well. On the instruction following, we see in this case that we give it a list of 16 items, and it pretty much nails every single one of them. And it also keeps this 4x4 table structure. Another example here showcases a Times Square in New York City with no people, vehicles, or illuminated billboards. Okay, this is the empty city. It's interesting, and this is very interesting. And in each of these billboards, you can actually add other things. You can add your own creatives as well. In this example, we have a relatively simple glass wine, but we have a very small drop of red wine in it. And if we zoom in, we can actually see some of the wine. But if you look at it closely, you will see it's not perfectly placed. It should be a bit lower, but it is very close. And this is on the first try. Another thing to note here is when you have complex instructions, it might not be a perfect output from the first try, so you might want to give it a few tries to get a better outcome. And another example here that we see is a math equation, which nails it with very good text placement. They have a lot more examples here that you can actually see. Again, a better feeling of the model capabilities. And it has, let me browse some of these. So this example showcases Karl Marx in paparazzi style photo with shopping bags and some of these examples. And we see different styles and with different colors, different aspect ratios as well. And one thing to note is the limitations of the model. When you generate large portraits or images with a lot of things inside them, it might crop some of the things because of the image sizing. It may hallucinate. In this comes from the base GPT-4o model, but as the base model gets better, this should get fixed with time. In this example, that we see that if you overstuff it with text and different icons, you might reach the limits of the model. So as we can see here, the text, some of the text is correct. So we see nickel, gallium. No, actually, this one has two I's: selenium, krypton, but diamond is correct. We see rhodium. I think this is wrong, and some of the texts are not words at all. So yeah, you might want to limit what it has inside. In this one, and if you want to generate graphs, this might not be a very good model, and we see that in graphs as well, it might not perform very well. But if you want to generate graphs like this, it's better to instruct the model to generate the graph with code and actually take a screenshot of the image and not do it this way. The model also has multilingual text rendering, and in hard languages like Chinese or Korean and these Asian languages, it might not perform very well. And I'm not able to kind of evaluate this example. I'm going to try later one in Greek. And in the editing, we see that sometimes it might not get correct output. And we see here step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Step 2 and 3 are in reverse. And when the user tries to fix that with an extra prompt, it again misses the instruction. And they have another example here with a lot of text inside this, which again can lead to poor performance, especially when the text is very small. And this example brings up something that I want to mention is when you want to make creative with a lot of content inside it, as we do with the text model, instead of having it generated with one shot, you might actually want to break the output into smaller components. So in this case, instead of having the entire image together, we could break the 3 infographics into separate images and each column of the text into a different generation. And at the end, make them match the styles and merge ourselves. Now, let's go to ChatGPT and try it ourselves. So the first one I'm going to try is the text rendering, and especially in Greek language, to see if it has any limitations on that one. So I'm going to write generate a creative with a Greek flag and a Greek copy text about Greece Independence Day. And this was yesterday, 25th of March. That's why I'm giving this instruction. And the generation takes somewhere between 15 to 25 seconds, and it starts to showcase some blurred results in the middle of it. And we're gonna fast forward we're gonna fast forward to the end. We see that the image is starting to show, and on the left side we will have a Greek flag, and I'm wondering where the text will be. So it's getting the 25th. Okay. And I'm seeing the text correctly. So 25th is, this is in Greek. Instead of having 25th, it is 20 with this H symbol, but it actually is a Greek I, and it reads 25th of March, Independence Day. We see very good text capabilities here in the Greek language. Okay, interesting. And I'm gonna wait until it finishes. The bottom is not yet generated, and I see something in this space here. No, nothing at the end. Okay, that's a very good try. I'll give it a good feedback. And if we try to edit this one, what should we do? I want the flag. I want the flag. I want to have the flag, some text, anything you think it's appropriate, and on the background to show a parade. So every 25th March they do parades. In Greece they do parades, the schools, the military. I'm curious to see how well it will actually depict. In this case, I didn't want to instruct it with some specific text, but I wanted to let it what an appropriate text would be in this. So we're seeing a similar layout, the flag on the left, but we see on the background it's going to be some kind of road. We're going to have so I'm guessing it's going to have the text as is, and it's just going to change the background with a parade. Okay, fair enough. And as this one finishes, we see that it has placed on the background a military parade. And one thing to notice here, which seems to be very important, is in the first image, the text is split into two parts. So the first is the 25th of March, and the second is the Independence Day. Here, in the bottom image, we see that it has increased the spacing between the two texts because the people wear dark uniforms, and if it had text overlay, it wouldn't be shown at all. And we can instruct it to place it a little bit further below and this one above. So as a first example, this one looks solid and very good. For the next one, we're gonna do something that everyone has been doing on Twitter. So in my YouTube channel, I have my profile image. So in my YouTube channel, in my profile image, I have many people saying that it is not good, and I wanted to change it to something else, but I was just forgetting it every time. Now we're going to give the model this image as input, and we will turn this into an anime. So I think I have it. So let's input this here, and I'm going to say this into an anime. And I have done this example before, and in this turn I'm going to give it an extra. And in this turn I'm going to give it an extra instruction to see what changes. It will be used as a YouTube channel profile. Make it awesome. And let's see the previous generation. The first generation is make this image an anime, and we have the output image which follows the image very well. So it keeps background color very close, and it keeps my clothes, so a black t-shirt with an orange jacket, which is also open. It also keeps my glasses, and we see the face, it's changed a little bit because this is anime style. Now let's see the other one. We're gonna speed this up, and in this example we see that the output is better. So we only said make it awesome and what it will be used for, and we see that it has more vibrant colors. It has kept the background colors better than the first run, and the clothing is pretty much the same, and my face is very close, and it also has the glasses, and this one is definitely better, and I'm going to change my profile to this one. Now, for the final example, we will do a real world use case. So up to this point, we were doing some demos to play with and see what the model is about. Now, I have an image. I have found an image of a creative. It is right here, and we will use this image as a template to kind of create our own a Facebook ad of our own product. Now for our own product, I'm gonna use another image that I found of content, and one thing to note here is that the template has a shampoo and a conditioner product, and we see that in our own case here the bottles don't match, but that's okay. And the template here we also have multiple other things we need to edit in order for this to become final creative. So we have the products first, we have the logo here, we have a phone number, we have the text, we have the copy of the ad and the domain. And one thing that we'll do here is we won't be changing all of this together, but we will do it step by step. Now, let's input the images. I think, where are they? So this is the first one, and we have the other here. So place the Pantene products in the product position in the template. Keep the rest of the template the same. And what I'm gonna do in this case is in the first generation we will place the product, so we make sure that the product is well placed and it's correctly. After that we will do multiple edits. So we will change the logo, number, domain, and copy all together to kind of see if we reach the limit of the model or not. And let me find what we're gonna need. So let me crop the logo here to have it ready. And as we can see here, it has perfectly placed the products in the template. It has kept the structure from the actual products and not the template here, which is what we actually want. And the rest is the same. We see the background color a bit darker, but that's fine. Now, what we want to do is change the number into this. So we're going to give it +1. So we're going to give it +1, 2, 3, 4. So we will give it a US number in this structure. I think it's 10. So let's say 4, 6, 5. And let me just a minute. So it is 10 digit, yeah. Nope. 4, 5, 6. And let's give it this demo. Change the domain to what is the domain now? Pantene domain. So it's .com. Okay. Pantene.com, and change the logo in the top left. Actually, instead of uploading a logo image, the one we screenshot before, I'm going to instruct it to get the logo from the bottle and place it in the top left. From the bottle. With the logo from the bottle. We need the modify the copy, the text copy into something you like. The products shampoo plus conditioner. And I think that's it. And let's give it a try. So we're gonna have to wait. After a moment, we'll skip to the end. So the generation finished, and we see that it correctly placed the Pantene logo, the number, the URL here, the URL, and for the text copy. So I left it a bit vague here, and we had in the original image, we had 2 lines. So it was the subheading, and it was this demo text here, and it removed the second one. And because I left it vague, it actually removed because it kind of made the choice that it thought it was better. Now, what would we make? And in the text here, we still actually made a mistake. So it says restores, but it has written it wrong. Let's try to fix this. Fix the word restores and restores as a final edit. And after that, I think it will be ready for use. And we see that with a vague fix the word with the wrong spelling, it actually removes this copy and places with the original one, but again has an error. And what you do in these cases is that you clarify the prompt. So we edit the prompt into replace the word restores with restores, and in this case it got it perfect. So it just changed the word and while keeping the rest the same. And this is something that you need to know. So if you try to make a fix and it doesn't get it correct, or changing other things, you just break down that fix into multiple steps. And as we see here, we start with a template like this and the product with that one, and we generated the final creative ourselves. So we could use something like this for Facebook advertising. And one thing that I noticed here is this get 25 ml conditioner free, but in the original image it was 250. And these are small edits, these are small edits that you can make to kind of optimize the image. And you can remove these dots, you can add something else, and you can change the text here. Basically, you can do anything you want. So now, if you want to make creatives for your business, you can do that inside ChatGPT for free. Now, if you're watching this video and you own a business or a startup and you want to make your next AI project using the new image generation feature in ChatGPT, you can book a one-on-one consultation with me using the link in the video description. I look forward to talking with you, and thanks for watching the video.